And we have the Royal Mix. The Royal Mix, hey ladies, please unmute yourselves and say hello to our audience.
Hi, everybody.
Aren't they adorable? So we have this dynamic girl group on, and they have things to say about Netflix's Cuties trailer, right? This film is supposed to be coming out on Netflix next month. A lot of folks have pushed back on it. I did an extensive broadcast about this last week, and I wanted to bring on a group of young people who are doing tremendous work in the entertainment industry that is actually child appropriate, and they have things that they want to express about being in the entertainment industry as young Black girls, as well as what's appropriate, what isn't appropriate. We're going to talk about child safety and protection in social media and within entertainment. So welcome into the Lioness Den, you all. As you're coming in, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to our channel, flynubianqueentv.com, and know that our program right here on our YouTube page is Mondays through Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So the Royal Mix, how are y'all feeling today?
We are good.
Good. I'm doing well, a lot better. You know, I love talking to young people. I don't know if you all know this, but I used to be a teacher, and I went to school actually in Philadelphia, where you all are. I went to Temple University, and I actually did a lot of teaching work and a degree in teaching. So I do miss being in the classroom and working with young people. So ladies, first of all, before we get started, who is the Royal Mix, and what was the inspiration behind your group? Who wants to take this question?
So the Royal Mix is a young hip hop group, and we've been together for a little bit over 2 years now.
Yeah, and our inspiration is TLC.
Yeah, and we love
Y'all were inspired by TLC. That was the girl group back in my day in the 90s. What y'all know about TLC?
Well,
A
kind of
lot.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, like since there's a lot of famous singers, we love a lot of different singers.
And rap.
Or yeah, just
Performance.
Performance.
Very nice. So listen, tell me about the Royal Mix. What type of music do you all do? And what was your inspiration in terms of forming, well, you said TLC was your inspiration, but were there any other things that inspired you all to create this group?
Well, I wasn't in this group since the very beginning. So basically, at an event, well, it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
2 years ago, and I was there with my mom and everybody else, and they had came there and they introduced me and stuff. And our manager now, who we call Ampere, she was like, "So do you like singing, dancing?" I was like, I don't really like singing or rapping, but I'll try it. And I ended up really liking it. And as you can see, we're still all here together today. Yes.
Very nice. So also do this for us. State your names. I know that, you know, the group is called the Royal Mix, but let us know like your names and ages, please.
Okay. So my name is Bronze, aka Rashaya.
I'm Gigi, aka Giselle.
I'm Jay, aka Sanaya.
And we are the Royal Mix. And I'm 14. And I'm 11.
And I'm 12.
Nice. Thank you very much. You see, audience, we this is just beautiful. So we're just going to get right into the topic. Make sure you all hit the like button. It will bring more people into the broadcast, and make sure you text the word Queens to 31996. That's Queens with an S to 31996. All right, the big elephant in the room, which is why we're all here today. Have you all seen the Cuties trailer on Netflix? Yes, right. And so I want to hear from each of you. And as you speak again, make sure you state your name first. But what were your reactions to the trailer?
Well, I'm Bronze, and my reaction was I was really shocked, like seeing how the trailer was switched around. It was crazy because these girls were learning twerking, which they changed to free spirited dancing, and Amy was kind of like took in from her religion because she wanted to be accepted, she wanted to fit in, which is kind of like we were talking about yesterday. We had a talk. It was kind of like peer pressure that she was under. But when I first saw the trailer, it kind of gave off like a grown or a fresh type of energy. And did not until yesterday understanding that it could have been peer pressure, it could have been wanting to fit in, is which kind of changed my emotion on how I felt about the movie. And I'm still not 100% about this movie at all. So
I agree. Well, I'm Gigi, and my first reaction, I was like kind of confused because I was like, well, like Brian said, it is kind of coming off very grown, and especially like the first poster they had first put up, they changed it now, but at first it was like they had on these, the cover. They had on these very revealing clothes, and I feel like the clothes weren't as bad, but it was mainly the poses. So I feel like it just made it come off as a very grown vibe. And when I watched the trailer, I was very confused, and I was like, well, they're kind of taking her away from her religion, like you said. And I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to some people who like are young and are just in their religion. And I feel like she definitely got taken away from it. But I was very shocked and confused. But like Brian said, it may have been peer pressure, but the movie isn't out yet, and we're not 100% sure.
Yeah. My name is Jay, and I feel the same way as Brian PG, but yeah, it came off very adult.
Yeah.
More of you showing your body in different type of ways that young girls shouldn't at the age of 11. And if you don't know what her religion is, she's actually Muslim, which is something well, the things that she's doing, you're not supposed to do that. That is, like Gigi said, disrespectful to the Islamic. So and other things is, well, I'm Muslim myself, so I actually know like what to do and what not to do. It's just that you shouldn't even want to show your body that much at the age that she is.
Yeah, she was
And
11.
then it might have been peer pressure, but you never know because all you saw was the trailer. You didn't see the full movie of actually what actually happened in every segment. You just saw little snippets of each segment. And one thing I was confused about, why were they scrubbing her face with a shitty brush?
Yeah, I was like, what did they do? It was very confusing.
Thank you. Yeah, for bringing up that point, Jay. About like you all brought up some really great points. Bronze mentioned first like the peer pressure, and you all were saying that it seemed really adult-like, but I did catch the part where her face was being scrubbed with a brush and some type of soap. I don't know what it was. I hope it wasn't skin bleaching cream. And so there were some things around colorism or her being dirty and like needed to get cleaned up or have like a makeover that made me also like feel very uncomfortable. I felt like that was very, very coded. But I want to thank you all for sharing those particular perspectives with us, because we do have a lot of adults listening that tune into the Lioness Den who share, similar views and had some of the, the same reactions as you ladies, young ladies, have had about this trailer. So I think for me, unfortunately, I felt like the child actors that were involved in this film, because again, this film was set in France. It has already gone to the Sundance Film Festival, and it won an award and all of these different things. And now it's going to be on Netflix. But I felt like the child actors were being exploited, and I really called into question the judgment of their parents and the other adults, like maybe their manager, maybe their PR person or booking agent. It just seemed that I made inferences that these young girls were not being protected in a particular way by the adults in their lives. And I kind of wanted to get each of your take on that. And before you answer that question, I do want to welcome the audience into the Lioness Den. We're talking to Bronze, Gigi, and Jay of the Royal Mix. This is a girl hip hop group, and they are speaking out against the atrocity, which is Cuties. Okay. As they're speaking from time to time, I'm going to mute my camera because I do want to get close-ups of these of the Royal Mix speaking and giving their commentary. And so this is about centering our young people today and putting their safety and their images and like their concerns at the forefront of what we're doing today in the Lioness Den. I want to thank you all for tuning in, making sure that you're hitting the like button and subscribing to flynubianqueen.com on Facebook, iTunes, as well as YouTube. All right, ladies. So the question was, I raised a concern about the adults who are managing or parenting these young girl actresses. And I felt like those adults were making bad judgment calls. That was my experience. But I wanted to know what you all thought about that.
Well, personally, I felt like these young girls were kind of like exposed in the world too quickly. Like Jay said earlier, the certain things that they were wearing just weren't something that you normally go out and wear. And like they said, the movie was shot in France, so people might have like a different point of view in things.
Certain things like that is accepted in France.
Yes, and also for like the parents, like I really hope that they agreed with like their child, and if their child was uncomfortable, they did say something. But we never know what happens behind closed doors. But for parents, if you see that something does not look right on your child, then like you should speak up and say something, because I understand it's acting. You can make money from acting. You can make a career, but exposing your child isn't really gonna get them where you want them to be so quickly. Because there will be so many comments. You never know who's watching them, so they can go through different stages of stress, anxiety, just because of one movie. Like it probably changed their whole lives. Right?
Yeah. And like Rashaya said, I feel like if they were uncomfortable, I hope that their parents speaked up about it, because that's something I'm kind of afraid of. Or like, if I don't want to do something, but somebody really wants me to do it, and they're like, oh, you have to do it. But I feel like I know that we would never have to go through that, and I'm very thankful. And on the adults part, I just feel like maybe they just wanted the money, but we never know what actually happened. And maybe the directors and the writer explained it to them different, but who knows? Because they saw the movie and stuff. So I'm not 100% sure about like everything, but from what I saw, I don't like. I don't know why they would do it, especially at such a young age, at like 11. And I feel like they were very exposed and exploited.
Yes. Gigi and Bronze actually explained it very well. But I have a few things to say. So yeah, people like our age, our generation is very exposed to the social media and internet, where you can see most of their stuff actually happening. So either, like Gigi said, they probably got the movie described to them in a different way or explained to them in a different way. But if they wanted to do it and they knew what they meant when they explained it, then I don't know what to say about that. But if they were like if they weren't explained how they thought it was going to be, what if they didn't know that it was going to be that much of them showing and other stuff. But yeah, everything's not about fame, because just because you're going to be in a movie doesn't mean that you're really going to get a lot of fame off of it.
And I also feel like the US, I mean America and Netflix, they made it so much worse than it was in France. And it just was
like they changed the cover and everything, but they changed it anyway. But yeah, so it's like not always about how you're gonna get out there. You can get out there, it don't matter how long it take. You get recognized by certain people. Or like Gron said, you don't know who's watching.
Yes, so definitely be careful. So there's a lot of pedophiles and different people who can always be watching you, so please be careful, especially people our age.
Yeah, and social media is kind of like an open outlet for children our age to like post anything they want. And sometimes parents are older, so they might not know how to work a social media.
Yeah, and they're not monitoring.
Yeah, and once their child is like out there and exposed, just one click of a button and that can be shared to everybody. And like Giselle said, there's like pedophiles and perverts and stuff like that. So you never know. It's really scary.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Wow, thank you all so much for all of that great wisdom and insight. As you all were talking, I was listening. I was also looking this way at my tablet, and I'm seeing a lot of the comments in the chat. People are commenting on how reflective and witty. Someone said that you all are really, really witty. You have like a really broad knowledge base, and the folks in the chat feel very, very proud. I am also very, very proud that this is a stance that you all are taking. Because it actually gives people like myself hope as I'm out here going crazy and getting turned up when I see things like a Cuties trailer or things in which I feel put young people's lives and safety in danger. It feels sometimes like I'm fighting an uphill battle, like exposing all of the craziness, the pedophilia in the entertainment industry, the anti-Black racism in the entertainment industry or in media and in different facets of society. But when we have folks like dynamic girl groups like the Royal Mix, who are able to come onto the platform, come into this brave space, the Lioness Den, and drop jewels, I'm like, yes, there is hope. There is hope. So awesome. So you all help us promote the Royal Mix by clicking the like button, share this broadcast, and make sure you subscribe to flynubianqueen.com. Now look, you all mentioned the poster, the initial poster and flyer that was used to promote this on Netflix. We know that since then it was changed. Can I get your commentary or just your general thoughts on your feelings about the initial poster before it was changed?
Yes, okay.
So the first thing, like the first cover in France, that was a perfect picture that they should have kept and shouldn't have changed. But the one that got the Cuties actually like recognized when I first saw it was like, why are they dressed like that?
Yeah.
Why are they posing like that?
Yeah, it was definitely
like
poses.
Their body is like in different nasty. Not nasty, but not appropriate. That's it's like at the ages that they weren't even over a teenager, they were tweens. They're my age or younger, just self age. But the one pose is like, wow, it's her body arched like that in the beginning, like just the cover, and then you want to start it off like that. That's going to make like perverts and people that look at girls like us and get attracted to it.
Yeah, and you already know there's a lot of people like that in France because it's very big. And trust me, please be careful when you go there.
And if that's appropriate like that in France, you know it's a lot of people that accepts it.
Yes, and there was like big pedophiles. There was like big pedophiles, big perverts, for instance, Jeff Epstein. Not gonna get into that, but yeah. And I feel like, well, Gigi actually brought this trailer and the poster to my attention. And she had asked me, she was like, have you seen the trailer Cuties? And I was like, no, it's Cuties. And then she showed me and I was in like shock because these girls, and the fact, there was one part of this trailer and she was like, they were like, how old are you?
Oh,
and the girls were like 11 and then the other girl line was like 14. And I was like, absolutely not. But the poster,
because the boys were older.
Yeah, but it was also like the poster, it kind of
gave off that type of thing.
Yes, but it's also like the poster also represents, and I feel like it's representing majorette dance teams. Because majorette dance teams, they might come off as inappropriate. I mean, they might come off as like, oh, a regular dance team, but no, they like majorette teams are really inappropriate. And like they do certain dances,
like they gyrate their bodies in different ways. That
it's different. It's usually different when it's like college and like marching,
but it's
when
like
dancing
little kids
and they're like twerking and stuff.
And I don't even see how they do any of that stuff. I can barely touch my toes. So, but it was like the poster, like they had on fishnet tights, 2-piece blue outfits, and their outfits were about this big.
Shirts were about this small.
Yes, so
shirts were about this small.
The parents, I feel like the parents
knew what they were.
After seeing that poster, they kind of knew what they were doing, and they knew what they were out for. But it's also putting your kid in danger because somebody can come up and snatch you, recognize them for that.
Oh, that's the girl.
That's the
girl Amy from Cuties.
Yes.
Yeah,
and like that's kind of gonna be their explaining. Yeah, Netflix made it work. I feel
because they changed the cover.
Because they used that cover, but France used
a different cover to make it look more appropriate.
But the way
Netflix changed the cover, it made it seem like
they wanted
you need your body out like that for you to get exposed.
But that's America for you.
Yeah. So interestingly, I think that with children, and we were talking about this earlier about like girl groups, and even with adults, artists, we find a lot of artists who they twerk, who show a lot of their body, who are sexualized in a particular way, especially Black women artists. They get a lot of like views, they get a lot of hits, they get a lot of publicity and a huge following. But for those who choose to be a bit more conservative, in their presentation, in their dancing, and their dressing style, get less attention. And I was just kind of wanted your comments on that, for the audience. What has been your experiences as artists?
I feel like when a lot of artists try to like change up their ways, all I hear them say, I feel like sometimes is an excuse. It's like, well, I don't do that because it's what people want to see. I'm like, no, you do that because you choose to do that. So it's like, and you have kid fans who are like 8, 6, whoever, because
under the age of 10.
Yeah, who are like listening to you on the radio. And even if like the curse words are out, you could still tell what the song's about.
Yeah.
So I feel like artists like Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, they're all promoting the exact same thing. So it's like, I don't really like it, but I guess if that's what they want to do, but it's also really bad for kids who are like really young and they're just being exposed to that at such a young age and they think it's okay to do that.
And then it's like, you want kids our age and younger, or a little bit older than us. You want them to actually follow in your footsteps when you shouldn't. But I'm not gonna say that you can't, but you shouldn't, because that's putting a bad reputation on you as well, not just them. It's because, well, they're adults and you're a child. So adults can do whatever they want to do. They pay bills and everything. And children, they live with their mother or their guardian or anything. So, like, you should want to be yourself, not no one else.
And
don't do what
especially
everybody
like
else
with phones at
does.
such a young age. They'll get like a phone and they're still like 6. And they'll be like, can I get TikTok? And I'll be like, I don't care. And then they see all this stuff. There's like a new song called WAP and they made up this dance to it. I saw like a little girl doing it yesterday. I sent it to my mom and I was just like, mm-mm.
And the problem is, if we're being totally honest, people don't like Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and Nicki Minaj because of their music. If we're being honest, they like them because of what they do, and because they put themselves out there. And if we're being honest, Nicki Minaj changed from like, if we're going back to like 2012 until now, I honestly don't know what happened to her and what was going through her mind.
And she supports pedophiles. Her husband was a pedophile, so is her brother.
So it's kind of just like, you kind of have to watch what you're doing. And for the new song that Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion made, it blew up on TikTok.
It blew up everywhere. It's on one of the top 2 songs on Billboard.
But they can't go out and talk about women respecting each other when they can't respect themselves. And like, you have, like, for instance, she has a kid and her kid dances to her music. And in my mind, I'm just like, this is who we are. And this is what we represent. Like, you want to be a role model, but you're not too. You're not modeling what even other children should be seeing. So it's like, you don't really have the same things when you do what you do.
Like, women like them, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get money this way, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this, so I can do it.
And it's not working. Well, it's working for them, but like, society today, 2020,
Generation Z. No.
Yeah.
Interestingly, you bring up a good point, and I want to thank you all. I want to let everyone know that we are chopping it up in the Lioness Den with the dynamic hip hop group, The Royal Mix. Introduce yourselves one more time because it's really cute when y'all do it.
My name is Bronze, aka Rashaya.
I'm Gigi, aka Giselle.
I'm Jay, aka Sanaya.
And we are The Royal Mix.
Super cute. So yeah, make sure y'all go over and follow them. They're on Instagram at The Royal Mix. And their website is theroyalmix.com, theroyalmix.com. So I think Bronze just brought up a good point, and you said that, well, whatever they're doing, these, artists, it's not working for them. And then you said maybe it is working for them, I guess, maybe in a sense in terms of it's lucrative that they're making money. But if you really think about it, Is the money, the fame, and the fortune worth more or less than one's integrity, self-respect, and those things, especially when we're talking about Black female artists?
Well, I honestly feel like it's worth less because if we're like Black people specifically people already have like their opinions, and it's like people, you don't want to be seen that way. But if you have our Black women disrespecting themselves, wearing revealing clothing, and acting like they don't really have common sense, then it's kind of like, what's the point? And then you're going out, you're making videos and you're making music, not knowing that it's 2020. Social media is a big outlet. Kids have tablets, computers, phones. There's an access, and when you go trending for being revealing and being dirty and disrespectful, then it's kind of like, oh wow, look what you did. Now there's kids running around dancing to your song.
Yeah. And it's already like a bad reputation.
With kids not even understanding.
Yeah, they just think
because it's trending, you should do it so you can trend as well.
But I think that sometimes kids do actually listen to this media, or they'll see these videos and be like, oh, I want to go try that, and like not let my parents know.
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like kids are learning a lot of stuff at super young ages now. Like they're learning, how when kids are little, they're like, oh, how are babies made? But now, at a young age,
they already know.
Yeah, they already know at like 6. Also because of like school, and they're like older kids who don't really care, and they're just always talking about it, and they learn about it, and they're just like, oh, well, I'm gonna do that. And like my mom, she told us a story about a kid in the racing school, and he told a girl that he was going to rape her.
He described it, told her what he was going to do and everything.
Yeah.
So like he said it a couple times, he didn't only say it once.
And it's also just like parents know, like there's parents out there, and you can't tell anybody how to parent their child, but there's parents out there who don't care, and
like they just let them do whatever.
They let them do whatever they want. But it's also that after a while, parents get tired and they'll stop trying. When it's like you can't really do that.
Like if you don't listen to me, why should I keep trying?
Exactly. Like if you're not putting in what I gave to you, then like it's no point of me giving anything to you and caring, because you don't care the same way. Like always love your parents, because
they're
you only get to
here.
So
yeah.
Well, to continue on what Brian was saying earlier, yes, colored people, Black women especially, we already have like a bad reputation because it come off that we're grown. We have this type of look to us that provokes ourselves out there.
Like she's grown because she does this, she does that.
Stereotypes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like us, see, we act like little girls. Most people expect us to act
grown than
20, 22, over the age of 20. No, we're going to act like little girls because you don't have a long childhood. You have a long adulthood. For sure.
So you can wait to do whatever you want. You have all those years. Just enjoy it as a child right now.
And without people knowing, stereotypes can actually hurt people. Like if you look at someone and say, oh, they're probably grown, or her face gives off a bad vibe, and you don't really know them and you don't really know their personality, it's kind of like, why are you judging? And us being a young colored women, sometimes people have like those faces and it can give off kind of like a bad vibe, but really we're good people. Yeah. Like we like to vibe, and it's kind of like, don't see us as like the grown little girls who think
we are
everybody is, when that's not true.
More words hurt more than actions most of the time. Yeah, words hurt.
Absolutely. And to put a term to what you're describing, it's called adultism, right? It's this stereotype, right, rooted in anti-Black racism, especially, which has people see Black children as older than they are, and Black boys, they'll see a Black boy acting up, and they'll instinctively criminalize the Black boy, or they'll look at a young Black girl and be like, oh, well, she's fast, she's too grown, et cetera, et cetera. And when Black children aren't allowed to be children through the eyes of other people, they use those stereotypes to like punish and give you all consequences more harshly and treat you all like adults when you're actually just children growing up and developing, right? Doing things that you could learn and grow from. So I want to thank you all for bringing that up. Now, I can tell that you all are very, very well raised, well poised, very reflective. You all study a lot and you do great things. And I'm sure that you all have a dynamic manager and a team of adults that have like created like a village around you all to make sure that you are raised really, really well and that you're able to be safe and protected as artists. And so without further ado, to the folks in the Lioness Den, I want to introduce you to our sister, Michelle Martin, who is the manager of the Royal Mix.
Hey, you guys. You know what? Let me just get that chair.
As our sister Michelle's coming into the frame, please take a moment to like and share this broadcast. You are tuned into the Lioness Den right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated people like you. Welcome, Michelle. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? I'm sorry.
I'm doing well. Listen, okay, so I'm looking at the chat and folks are really impressed by the depth of knowledge and perspective of the Royal Mix. And so I want to say from my heart to yours on behalf of the audience here at in the Lioness Den on flynubianqueentv.com, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What has your experience been? Huh?
I said y'all are welcome.
Yes. What has your experience been in terms of managing the Royal Mix, making sure that they're protected, like within the entertainment industry, within the music industry, making sure that they're presenting themselves well? What has your general experience been?
So to begin with, I'm not their manager. I am Giselle's mother. But I also, basically, I really do co-manage them with their manager. Their manager is Vera, because as a mom, and when she first came in, she was 8. And as a mom, I was like, there's no way that anything is gonna happen if I'm not right there. Like every single step of the way, right? Every step of the way. But one thing with these girls, they're great girls, right? And I think we put them in a space that we allow them to be little girls. So we shield them and we protect them, right? And we have constant conversations, because the reality is, like I tell them all the time, you guys are different, a little different from the average little girl, because you're in the entertainment industry, right? And that's what makes it a little different. And the entertainment industry, we all know, is a place where it's a rabbit hole that once you get in and you go all the way down, many people don't know how to climb their way back up out of it. A lot of child stars, you know, we know the stories of child stars, right? We know all the stories. But, you know, they're little girls, and at the same time, they see everything that's on social media, right? A lot of times they wonder, like, wow, why didn't our video get that many views? And one thing that they started noticing is like, oh, we're fully dressed. Oh, we're not twerking. You know, oh, we're not doing this. Okay, so if we did that, is that going to get us 1 million views? Is that going to help to get our message across? And, you know, the thing is to help them to understand that, yes, that's there, but that's not you. And you don't have to accept that. You don't have to do that. And we're not going to do that. So if it means that it takes a little bit longer for you guys to fully get out there, for people to fully understand your message, then that's what's going to happen. Because what we're not going to do is sexualize you for the entertainment industry, sexualize you for the men and women that are inside of the entertainment industry and want to see little girls sexualized. We already have that issue. I mean, there's been studies all over the place that Black little girls are the most over-sexualized human being. Black little girls, right? Because their bodies develop differently. They, you know, they become, they think differently, but mainly it's their body. A little Black girl is going to develop much faster than a white girl, right? And that's okay, right? That's okay for you to develop the way you want to, and you shouldn't feel ashamed of it. but you also shouldn't be made to feel that shake what your mama gave you, use what your mama gave you to get what you want, right? We don't want that type of thinking. So their stuff is different. It's always very, very little girlish. We don't do anything that it looks tight, it looks revealing, it looks sexualizing. All of their costumes are always handmade and everything, but that's kind of the key point. Whatever stylist we get with is, this is the look, this is the royal mix, this is who they are. I mean, for Christ's sake, and their name is royal, right? So they look at themselves as royalty. You always got to, put your crown on, keep your head up, because, whatever you go through, that stuff is going to pass. But if you're over-sexualized and you're on the internet, when you're 25, 26, trying to do something real, that's something that's going to come back and haunt.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing up those points, Michelle. I literally had a visceral reaction. Like, I wanted to literally vomit when I saw the trailer of the Cuties film. And then also I thought about how when, Black girls are sexualized and it's mass promoted and projected, it puts the safety of other Black girls and Black women at risk. So,
and Black girls are the ones that are kidnapped the most. I mean, where are they? Honestly, DC had that big problem, right? Yeah. The little girls that were missing. Philadelphia, where we live, has that problem. So where are these little girls going? They're not turning up dead. You don't see them ever, right? So it's a huge problem when you over-sexualize our children like that, right? Because we don't know who's watching. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say, for instance, on their Instagram page, I monitor it. And there was somebody who hit them up and they were like, oh, hi. And so, I always write back hi or whatever. But then that person who claims they were a 10-year-old girl went a step further and say, oh, y'all fine. What? No 10-year-old girl says that. And I told the person, I said, listen, mind yourself or you will be blocked. Oh, you don't trust me? Absolutely not. I think you're a man. I'm a 10-year-old girl. No, you're not, sir. You're a man. You're a man posing as a 10-year-old girl, because there's no 10-year-old girl that's gonna say, oh, y'all are fine.
Horrible.
What does that mean?
Yeah, that is crazy. The next thing I wanted to do, Michelle, with your permission, I know you're a parent, and you said that you do serve in a co-managerial role. I want to play a video from the Royal Mix to show our audience right here at Fly Nubian Queen. Is that okay? Okay, great. So this video is called We Got Next. And as I'm pulling this up, I would love for you all to make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure you go over to shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com, and check out our merchandise. Also go over to flynubianbusiness.com and flynubianmoney.com. All right, here we go. We're sharing the screen and we do have permission. This is their original music. All right. Hold on, let me make sure I'm doing this, yes, properly. All right, and I am going to go ahead and play this particular video, which is awesome. And this is gonna showcase, this is on the royalmix.com website, and it showcases their wonderful child appropriate hip hop artistry in 2020. Here we go.
We got
never follow the crowd. We set our own trend. Girl empowerment, DRM. We go minded, standards high, don't settle for less. I'll tell you why. We got a Beyonce mentality. Support for the team and family. Always give thanks to the powers that be. See these other niggas fire. Reddit and pies, they drifted, Jordan. Get an endorsement when it's said and done. You don't hear? She won. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. We got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. We got next. We got next. Yeah, we got next. Young girls always catching them checks. Turn them bill to a bill, that's the goal. G money never grows old. Don't dream about money, make money in my seat from all the lyrics I write to the beat. Billboards comment, gold, platinum, diamond fans over here. We stay undefeated, so when you see me, better know who I be. Other rappers are nice and rounds to the queen. Crown me. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. We got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. We got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. Hashtag we got next. We got next.
Awesomeness. That was dope. All right, can you unmute your audio right quick, please, Royal Mix? Everyone give them a digital round of applause because that was just absolutely amazing. Yay. Folks were saying in the chat that they absolutely love it. You all can go over to theroyalmix.com. That's theroyalmix.com and check out that video, and you can find their music on iTunes.
Yeah, you can find it on iTunes, Spotify, like they're on every single platform. You can go on YouTube. Everything across the board is The Royal Mix. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, every social media planet is The Royal Mix.
Yes, I love the consistency and the intentionality behind the branding, right? Oftentimes we say we're going to form a group or, name ourselves something for social media, and then folks take your Twitter handle or the website domain and that kind of thing. So, I mean, you can tell that like this group is run really, really professionally and intentionally. So ladies, that was absolutely amazing. How did you all feel by putting out that video, that song, and what was the overall message behind that?
So to be confident and love yourself.
And know that you're going to be the next stars. That's that.
Can you speak up a little bit and repeat that for me right quick?
What did I say? So it's like we're gonna be the next stars, and we're gonna be big, and
and it's all about positivity. Letting your haters know that
you can say whatever you want
because
we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here.
I love their verses. Like even when Gigi in the beginning, can you just say your verse so that they can hear? Like it really is a very powerful verse. And they're writers, so they also write. They do have help writing, but they write in a lot of their music.
Yeah.
What was the first verse, Gigi?
So I said, I'm gonna be a mega star and get a degree, be an employer, not an employee. Be a role model to the girls under me. Let them know how there can never be a plan B. Lead by example, give back, showing acts of kindness could never be waxed. Glory makes claim, fame more fame, get rich in the game.
Respect no shame.
Top type of that sound, tour all around, bear me, Beyonce next, and now take flight in my J's. I was born for this game. Now it's time to kill it.
Killed it. Yes, killed it. Super cute. So listen,
if you notice, like in that verse where these two come in the ad-lib and they're like respecting no shame. Right? And so when you really like take their verses and like rip them, and you really listening to it, and I know a lot of people just listen to a beat, but if you really listen to all three of their verses, it's empowerment. It's about, standing in, who you are, and you're standing in your confidence, but also standing in your respect and not doing anything that would shame you.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for that. Yeah, all of the messages were really positive. I actually had the honor and privilege of seeing the Royal Mix perform in person at the All Black National Convention. It was super amazing. Even the costumes, like the energy was really, really high. And so it's nice to see that you all are like growing up and continuing to grow into your artistry. It's a beautiful thing to see with really positive messages. I know that you all had a really strong anti-bullying message as well in one of your songs.
Yes, so our song Royal Geek was basically about
Anti-bullying.
yes, it was about anti-bullying.
We are anti-bullying advocates.
Yes.
If you did not.
And if you don't know what that means we support the bullied children because Jay and I did experience bullying. But Real Geek is basically about self-empowerment and anti-bullying. You know, building yourself up from what people try to make you.
Yeah. And like, don't let people talk about you.
Yeah.
And if they say something about you that's not true, just
Just-
try your best to ignore it.
Yes.
Or just
Just
love
love
yourself
yourself.
because you know who you are deep down inside. And
So you guys did the film, the short
Yes,
film.
the short film.
The short
Royal
film was
Geek
really
short
fun.
film. It was a lot.
It was
We
a
got
long
long
journey.
like, them steps were hot.
So their Royal Geek short film, Jade, won two awards, two film festivals. And they were on an anti-bullying tour. They kind of hit a lot of different circuits. And unfortunately, it happened right at the same time as COVID. So COVID kind of put everything on ice for a little bit, but they were really, doing really well. And the actual film, Royal Geek, which is their music video, but it's a 10-minute music video because it's really a short story. It was being used around the country as an anti-bullying tool.
Yes.
So schools were having, assemblies, and they were showing the film to their students. So how did y'all feel about that?
That was exciting.
Like-
I felt proud.
Yeah, I was proud. And when I actually went to my high school interview, there was a student sitting in front of me and I had like the counselor and everything. And they were like, you look so familiar. And I was like, from where? She was like, are you from the Royal Mint? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, your video Royal Geek was played at our assembly. And I was like, oh, wow. And she was like, yeah, they were talking about bullying. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, like some of
What
our
y'all
friends.
said?
Our pledge. We have not said that pledge in
So
such a long
long.
time,
Yes, yes.
which was months ago.
Super cute. So I think I have one more question for you all because you all hit on the next question I was gonna ask, but y'all are so intuitive. Look, my locks are even standing up. I'm so excited from your content. But my other question was like, what advice did you have for young people in the face of bullies? But I think that you all you hit on that pretty well. Sorry that COVID happened and that you all are going, supposed to be going on an anti-bullying tour. If you want to come back into the Lioness Den anytime onto my program to talk about things, that are really important to young people, such as anti-bullying and these things like we're talking about today, y'all can hit me up anytime to come through. My next and final question was, where do you all see the Royal Mix in 10 years?
I would say I'm not even sure because I feel like everything happens for a reason, and you may plan something out, but it may definitely go the other way. But I would say maybe like acting.
Yeah,
like that's my dream job.
Well, speaking of acting, today, every Wednesday we had an improv class, and today is our last improv class, which is at 3. Yeah. So,
Yeah, we will be doing acting and we'll be like old. We're not gonna be old,
I'll
but
be 23.
I'll be in college.
That is not old.
I'll be in college.
That's not gonna be even now.
First of all, I'm about to unmute my camera because I'm 36 and 23 is not old. No, I'm joking.
Not old, but like
it's like
Older.
older than
be
what we are.
older.
Mhm.
I'll see us on billboards
Yes.
and everywhere.
I didn't want to be on TV.
That's her. And kids running around, they'll be like, this is the music I listen to.
When I was 2.
My kids gonna be like, Mom, what's this song? I'm like, that you listen to
And
that
I'ma
old
dance.
music?
I'm gonna
You
embarrass you.
listen to that old
When
music?
did I stop listening to that child?
Yes.
We,
So listen,
I just have a question, Jade.
sure.
Because, and it's been a while since I asked them this, but a lot, you know, their music is kid friendly. It's music that children can listen to and adults can vibe to. How do you guys feel about doing music that everybody can listen to?
I feel good about that because
I would like to keep it. Yeah, I feel good about that
because most people our age, it's not that, well, yeah, you shouldn't listen to other music.
Well, that's the
People,
decide
well,
to listen to.
music that you decide to listen to. But music that we make, you can
It's
listen to
amazing.
it, have fun to it, adults can listen to it without provocative language in it.
Listen to
So-
it while you clean your room, have on your speaker without your mom having to come in and say, turn that off.
Has too much cursing in it.
What is that?
Very inappropriate.
Look at you like,
Not in my Christian house.
Not in my Christian house, okay.
So I'm totally seeing the future of acting for the royal mix, because that improv that just happened just now with that situation, you know, you saying what like the parents say and like how they react to some of the music that's out there. Y'all are spot on with that. And I think that's a great question. I'm glad you raised that question, Michelle, because it's like one thing, you know, they have like, not that y'all are in this category of kids bop, but people kind of put music that is child friendly in a particular box and it's not mainstream. What I would love to see is the royal mix go mainstream. What do y'all think in the Lioness Den? Wouldn't you love to see the royal mix be mainstream music that everybody would listen to and not just young people?
Yes. Like, I feel like everybody can vibe to something. Like, you know, there's kids that listen to oldies.
yeah, me.
So,
Brown
yeah, there's kids that
especially.
listen to oldies, and like, there's adults that listen to, you know,
Yeah, music.
Yeah,
music, the music.
like most people wouldn't expect us to be inspired by TLC.
Yeah.
So
So,
be like, do you like Cardi B? No.
no, who's that?
She can stay where she's at.
You know what's funny, Jade, is that as a parent, I remember when Beyonce's Lemonade came out, right? And it was a big deal. I didn't listen to it. I couldn't listen to it. When by the time the girls heard it, they heard it in school. So I had, you know, no choice, but you know, I listened to it, but there's so much music that I don't listen to because I just want them to know that we don't condone it. It's almost like, you know, for an unfortunate lack of better words, like, you know, radio porn, right? Like I cannot turn on the radio. I can't tell you the last time I've turned the radio on in my car listening. You know, I'm putting on, you know, whatever's on my little playlist, you know, and different things like that. But, you know, it's hard to just even listen to music nowadays.
I hate the radio.
You hate the radio?
When,
Yeah.
when you used to turn on the radio, it used to be like Disney music.
Yes, I would turn on Disney music. You see that? Because I couldn't turn on any regular music. So when you know, when she had the opportunity to kind of be a part of this group, I was like, oh, this is great because she will learn on her own why appropriate music is for children, why you have to kind of like separate yourself. Thank you, Jay. You're welcome. Why you have to separate yourself, you know, and everything like that. So I highly encourage all parents, like, I don't know which one of the girls was saying it, like, you know, don't give up. Don't feel like you're losing a battle against mainstream music, media, and all of that. Like, I take control of it at home. I'm extremely vocal about anything that they listen to, and I always have been, because this is not my first go around, right? She's like my fourth. And so when I think about it, you know, and parents just like, you know, don't be discouraged, but a lot of parents are. Here's the other thing. A lot of y'all parents that are over there bopping the wop with your 11-year-old,
Speak.
I'm judging
Yes.
you.
Disgusting.
There was on TikTok I watched, and there was a mom and daughter doing WAP together. The little girl must have been like 12.
This is who we are.
My age.
And you know, when you're doing that with your children, if there's no boundary set by some type of adult somewhere, then they think that that is what it is. But what you don't understand is that you're framing a mindset that is going to, when you feel like you want it to be undone, it's not going to be undone because you did not put in the work to make sure that that mindset never turned to what that was. So to that parent who danced the WAP on TikTok, and that dance is crazy. Like when Giselle sent me the little girl, she must have been like 8 doing it. It just broke my heart because I'm like, these little kids and parents, your kids are in their rooms doing TikToks in their bathrooms and y'all don't even know it. Like check on these TikTok accounts. It's not a game. So I just want you parents to know, like, you know, you got to hold yourself accountable. You can't just look at them and be upset with them. You got to look at yourself. Like, look inward. What are you listening to? What are they seeing that I'm doing that's going to affect what they do in the future? Or what they do tomorrow behind closed doors where I'm not going to know about it.
Thank you. And you know what, Michelle, in the Royal Mix, it's not just parents, it's like grandmothers and great grandmothers, you know, listening to, you know, Meg Thee Stallion and WAP especially, but not just listening to it, but defending it and saying, this is just entertainment for adults. Go raise your own children. Don't tell parents how to raise their children. Duh, it's not child friendly, but so what? It doesn't have all of those effects on the youth. Y'all are looking at this too deep. Y'all doing too much.
I was shocked.
The heartening part about that for me.
I was shocked when I listened to those lyrics. And I'm an adult. I'm a whole grown 47-year-old woman. Nothing should shock me at this point. But that lyrics, I was like, what? I said, are you serious? And the fact that it blew up on TikTok first.
Yes.
Right? It blew up.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it blew up on TikTok. But when you think about it, you know, TikTok, I really do hope TikTok is banned. I honestly do. I understand it's a national security issue and that's the reason, but the real security are these children. TikTok started off as Musical.ly. Yeah. She was on Musical.ly when she was 4. And it was a fabulous app for kids. They went in, they did skits, they danced, there were grown people in there doing grown stuff. You cannot hold down a TikTok timeline now. And it's not the men, it's the women.
Yeah.
And it is the women. It's horrible.
And when that song first came out, and still now, if I scroll on my TikTok, that's the only song I hear. And the problem is the one part of the song that this man made the dance to, because the dance that everybody is doing is something that a man made, is wild. Because there's little kids out here.
I haven't seen it, by the way.
Listen, you're gonna be like, you think Cuties drove you crazy? Wait till you see the WAP dance on TikTok with these children. They're as young as 5.
Yeah, if you scroll like all those, there's 3 different WAP dances, but the other 2 aren't. They're like woes in class. But like that one dance, it's like professional dancers. You have to be on the floor. You have
it's all kinds of insanity.
The only men I see
all you see if you go on your phone, if you go on your phone, that's all you're gonna see. Scrolling down the TikTok feed, and it happens all the time. I had to switch the camera.
And this is the sad part, Jade, is that, and as a parent, and I know, you know, whoever's watching, there's a lot of parents out there, men and women, right? And aunties and uncles, because all of this takes a village, right? And when you can almost feel defeated. Like you honestly can almost feel defeated because it's coming at them from every which way. Like, it's almost like they don't have a chance, right? Like they don't have a chance to grow up. They don't have a chance to be little girls, even the little boys, right? If a little boy is constantly watching that before he's 12 years old, where do you think his mind is going? What do you think is going to happen when he becomes 13, 14, 15 and gets around girls and cannot control himself? But it's because he's been exposed to all the over-sexualization that's out there. And I don't care what anybody says. This is the worst it's ever been. Like, TikTok, what I thought was a great app, has turned out to be the devil.
We can't grow.
Yeah, you know what? I was reading a couple articles that came out. One was on Wired, and it was talking about how like there's a lot of anti-Black racism in terms of people impersonating these stereotypes of Black women and or Black men and doing these videos that are like hella ignorant and very, very coded. And
they're not coded though. That is that part. It is not coded.
It's not coded.
It's not coded.
Yeah, I'm on Trump supporters live all the time now. All these people are yelling at them because most of the people on TikTok hate Trump supporters. Now, Chris is like yelling at them.
There's like
them to go die.
Activists on TikTok. Like TikTok, I feel like the generation that we're in,
They don't care.
That is something that you cannot take up, like not including like that dancing and stuff, but when it comes to like knowledge, like the people on TikTok know so much and they expose people so quickly. And it's also not speaking on TikTok, going back to kind of like children growing up. I feel like society wants kids to grow up fast. And it's also, if we're talking about like just stuff that kids play with, toys, when it comes down to toys, everything is like changed. Like for instance, an LOL surprise doll. If there's like
I used to love those little big.
Yes, I used to have those big headed toys.
Yeah.
I thought they were so like
But now,
cute and fun and collectible. But when you take their
clothes
clothes
off that
off,
they can't
materials, and you dip them in cold water, they come out in like black and red lingerie and tattoos, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Why is this that?
And it just opens up a door for children. But it
oh,
also
I
opens
feel
up
just
a
like
door.
that since my
Yeah.
toy is just
And
like
it also opens up a door for pedophiles because I'm pretty sure if a sick person sees a toy like that, or for instance, like there's this Trolls toy, and it was just horrible.
You touch the private part of the troll, there's a button on the private part of a troll doll. And it makes these noises like if it's enjoying you touching it.
And the bad part about it is it got recalled.
Oh,
and
no.
now it's on eBay for $139.
And you know, that's the sad part. Like, you know, like they're saying, and I mean, they know better. I didn't even know that the LOL doll, like you could dip it in water and it comes out in sexy lingerie.
What? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
All of this is like new information to me right now. It is hella disturbing. If people don't know who we're talking to the Royal Mix, a girl hip hop group out of Philadelphia. And we've been talking about Cuties, you know, inappropriate representations of young people, particularly young girls in the entertainment industry. And now they're talking about sexualized toys and things like that. Like, why would a doll be wearing lingerie? Can anyone, I just don't understand.
And you know, these dolls are made by adults. Who was in that marketing team? Who was there and thought, and everybody agreed because it went all the way, it went from the top down. The top agreed and Hasbro. They knew what this doll was doing.
And
right?
They didn't address it.
They didn't address it. It's still out there. Like, you still dip it and she comes out in fishnets. She'll come out in like a little thing. She'll have tattoos. Yeah, she'll have fishnets and a two top or some other type of lingerie. They're all different. So you dip each one, you get a different undergarment
And it's
outfit.
like, they're just not doing this because a few years ago, in like 2016, LOL dolls were not like this.
Like, you couldn't dip
they
them
were
in
fully
water.
clothed. And
Yeah, and if you
they
dip
had
them in
pink hair
water,
and stuff.
if you dip them in water, like their hair would change. Like it would be a nice, pretty
Like
bright
the hair
They
would
would have like
change.
eyeshadow or like these nice boots, and like they would have like glitters and unicorns on them. But now it's like,
Why did it change like that? Like,
and
little kids
and
get these dolls.
I had a little surprise dolls, and for the longest, I was trying to figure out what like dipping her in water would do. And there was one day I dipped my doll in water, and she came out in fishnet tights, and I didn't think anything of it until I kept seeing it on this Instagram page I follow, Stop Human Trafficking, and it just kept coming up as different toys and music artists that are being sexualized. And the most recent post was with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and how it just opens up a door for pedophiles, and how it's opening up a door for children. And basically, like, the music that people make that are inappropriate is all a trap, and they know that there's something behind it, and they're doing it on purpose to lure these kids in.
Like, a lot of artists, they're a part of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, all these rape rap going on, like Donald Trump. And you know, Jeffrey Epstein, they're all together on that. They're all a part of it. It's like one big organization almost.
It's called Pizzagate. It's called Pizzagate, and they try to make this name for it to make it sound innocent, but really it's not. And it's all on the internet.
And did you hear
Yeah,
about
thank you. I think Jay was gonna say something, and then I wanted to chime in.
But did y'all hear about if you buy like a bra or
Yes.
underwear from Pink, there is a tracking device in one of the little slits on the bra. And I actually have one, so I cut it and I found one in it.
What? And they tried to call it a sensor.
But no, this is how they're sex trafficking young girls or age that wear pink.
Because to young girls,
not from Victoria's Secret, the store pink.
Young girls think pink is like
cute and
like that.
It's for like 14-year-olds and stuff.
Interesting. So listen, this is what I would like to do. We're running short, or I'm running short on time, right? But I would love to go through the appropriate channels to partner with the Royal Mix, if you all would like to do some advocacy work against pedophilia and human trafficking. And then you all can come into my show at any time on the Lioness Den. If you see a trending news article or story or something that happens within entertainment and you want to talk about it and share your really positive message from young people's perspectives, you are always welcome to do that. But thank you. I want to thank you all so much for coming in, and also to Michelle, thank you so much for allowing, this to happen, for, setting this up. But I would love for us to continue having these dialogues, because like there are adults that are watching right now who are, their minds are blown. Their minds are blown. They're like, I had no idea.
My mind was blown with what they just said.
Yeah.
I didn't know the pink stuff. They had not shared that with me. And oh my God, let that serve as a lesson, y'all. These babies know what's going on in this internet. And luckily they have adults that surround them, moms and dads, that they can bounce stuff off, with, and it's not a big deal. And we leave that open door of communication. But I swear, like, I'm the pink thing, I'm shocked. I'm like, I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna research that right after this, because
yeah, I am too. And also these dolls. I mean, I would love to have you all come on and talk about these LOL dolls and all of these other things that are being sold, because I don't know about those things, and I can only imagine like the hundreds of thousands or millions of adults who don't know about this. And so if you all want to join me on another segment, we can set a date, with parental consent, especially, of course, right, to share this information with people, because, I am on a mission as an organizer and an activist, among other things that I do, to put an end to human trafficking, child sex trafficking, pedophilia, and all of those inappropriate things.
Yeah.
And I want to wrap up by giving you all the last word. But before I do, I want to let everyone know that you are in the Lioness Den. I'm Jade Arundel, aka Lioness Crowned, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black African host right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women like you. We are with the Royal Mix, and they just dropped a lot of knowledge and jewels. I'm going to give them the final word. We were talking about cuties. We were talking about keeping our children safe, especially on social media and within entertainment. What final words of advice do you all have to young people, to people within your age group, about the dangers of social media and the sexualization of children?
Well, first, I would like to thank Ms. Jade for having us today.
Thank you.
And I just I want everybody to be safe, but it's really hard, especially with the pink tracking bras. They'll be like, oh, it's just that.
It's we put them in here so if we can track you if you stole the bra or anything like that.
But then the next thing you know, some man, he knows where you are and you're probably going to get kidnapped. So please don't buy bras and pink anymore. Just please don't.
Or if you do, make sure we get them, cut the tracking device out of them.
Yes, and throw it away or something.
Yeah, and stay safe. Always ask your parents.
Yeah, and be careful what you post on apps like TikTok.
Yes, Instagram, Facebook.
Because once it's up there, it's up there forever. So
make sure you turn
and
your location off.
Yes, and
turn
apps like
location.
Snapchat, and if you don't trust the person, turn off
Your location.
Yes, love yourself, respect yourself before you respect anybody else.
Yes.
Because how you gonna love somebody or respect somebody if you don't respect yourself?
Yes.
Love yourself.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe.
To follow us on all social medias at The Royal Mix. Go to our YouTube at The
Royal Mix.
Go to our website at The
Royal Mix. And we love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. If I had to add one caveat to that, I would just add, if anyone does anything to you as a young person, a child, that makes you feel uncomfortable on social media or in real life, please tell your parent, please tell an adult. And let's be clear that predators can also be women, they can also be female. They're not men all the time, right? So we want to make sure that you all are always on guard for that. I am so proud of you all. I'm like tearing up over here. This has been amazing. I look forward to partnering with you, lending my platform to you. You all can come in at any time to share your great artistry and like all of that great knowledge that you all have. Thank you again, Michelle Martin, for the opportunity to, allow them to come into the show. I want to thank the audience, the folks who have shared and liked this broadcast, folks who have been loyal viewers. And make sure y'all go over to theroyalmix.com and follow all of their social media at The Royal Mix. Okay, well, thank you all. And I just want to say, this broadcast is ending, but so is global racism and white supremacy. We will and we must trample this beast through fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. And always remember that they stole us, they sold us, so they owe us reparations. Hashtag cut the check. I'll see you all again in my show, The Lioness Den, tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time at FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Until next time, family, peace and Black power.
Bye, thank you.
Hi, you're welcome. Bye-bye.